Welcome back to another Beeline to Passports. My name is Joe Batista. I'm your host, and tonight we have another great story for many people that want to listen great stories in our show. And first of all, I want to thank everybody for this third season that we started the third season last week with another great actor and also a good friend, reading the story of how he started on this beautiful career. But tonight is not deception. Tonight we have a beautiful lady. This beautiful lady, she started her career very soon, basically a year ago. She started the career, but she have a great stories to tell us. Tonight, we have Miss Nikki Kalter. Nikki, welcome to Beeline to Passports.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And thank you for accepting the invitation
Of
for
course.
our show. And like every week, we ask our guests how everything started.
Uh, Long story, obviously. Came from Indiana, small town in Indiana. I grew up with two brothers, two sisters. Always wanted to act, always wanted to be an actress. That was the goal. My dad was a retired fireman, my mom was an accountant, and that grew up in a small town in Indiana. Moved around. Once I met my husband, we moved from Indiana, Illinois, Texas, now here in Orlando. And it's finally the right time to act. So that's what I've been trying to do.
Wow, you basically telling us that you moved from Indiana to Texas to Orlando, basically from cold, half hot to that Florida. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's well. Most people say that's a great move. Yeah, that's an awesome move.
Well,
We
we
don't have
joke
snow
because
here.
in Indiana, we were about 30 miles outside Chicago, but we only went to Chicago for holidays. So even though we were so close, we didn't cross the border of Indiana to Illinois.
Wow. Basically, you were in the close to the Windy City to come to Texas, Tornado City. Sorry, Tornado State, and
Yep.
moving to Sunshine State. Also, hurricane attracting region.
Mhm. Yeah.
You never know. All
No.
right, and you said you always want to get you know your feet wet in this industry as an actress. Uh, in your education, you, for example, high school, you participate on any of the skits there or any theater?
I was
Tell
a
me.
theater nerd. I actually did theater, and I was also in Trouble Layers for choir, show choir. So we had to wear certain outfits and perform for, um, like the retirement communities. We would do that for Christmas time. We would sing Christmas songs or "Hey, Mr. Santa," that kind of thing. Really enjoyed that aspect of it and kind of pushed it away as I got older, just because I started working full time and kind of pushed it aside until I moved here. And Orlando, it's fun, it's exciting, and you get to try new things.
Yes, and not only that, you can also get opportunities working in commercials for big companies like Disney, Universal,
Mhm.
and many others. And then they use the state of Florida. Most of the time, they use it for the weather because they don't have snow, and they can film in December and they're gonna have what 40, 45 degrees outside, For somebody that live up north, hey, that's nothing. I seen people
Yeah.
on shorts, and I'm with a big jacket. I'm from the Caribbean,
Yeah, well,
um,
it makes sense though because we always joke we visit when we go back home to Indiana. I have to wear big coats, and you would think I'd be used to it, but I think it's a different kind of cold. I think it's a different. It's like a wet cold versus a dry cold, just like they say like humid versus not humid. Like Texas wasn't humid at all, a little bit, but not horrible. Here, you walk outside and you're just drenched. And I think it's the same thing in Indiana and Illinois. Up in Chicago, it's it's not as cold. If it was 40 degrees here with the wet and the humid, it would feel like negative 500 here.
yes, it's true. It's true. All the time, I always carry in my car a jacket, not for me, for my wife, because she's the one. Yeah. Oh, what is your jacket? Okay, right there, back seat, and she used my jacket. It's true. And in my jacket, they can fit three of her inside the jacket, but hey. Uh, she used it for that. She used it to
My
be more
husband does the
comfortable.
same thing. My husband's like, "Well, we're going out to dinner. Why don't you have multiple sweaters in the trunk?" And I was like, "I don't think that."
Yeah, yeah. You never know. You never know. Sometimes we need to start thinking ahead, and that's
Yep.
super important. Super important. And Nikki, in you say your father a firefighter, and
Hmm.
your mom work also. And from of any of those lines, your father being a firefighter, any of the family member from your dad's side being involved in arts, or from your mom's side, anybody involved in arts?
They didn't have any art in their backgrounds. However, I will say that if anybody had any kind of art, it would have been either sister. Heather, she was my older sister. She's, much taller. She's 5'9". She was in modeling when she was really young because she was so tall. And then my sister Michelle actually studied fashion merchandising. So she is ridiculously creative. Like it makes me in awe. She will make the cricket things and the t-shirts and posters and all things. And I'm like, well, I can't compete with that. So I don't even try. But yeah, neither parent was super artistically inclined. My grandma was a seamstress and just fantastic with different clothing and anything you wanted made. But neither parent was really super creative. They were both very logical in that way.
Okay, okay, okay. I asked the question because sometimes people, well, yeah, my dad or my grandfather was a musician or was involved on this area, and you have that in your genes. And that happened to me. On my side, my dad, a musician, also he worked on radio stations. My mom, she used to sing. My brother used to play percussion. Uh, I did all that I mentioned because I've been involved in this industry for many, many years.
Yeah.
Uh, and but that is the most common. They have somebody in their family that they have that vein, and you grab that gene from that family member.
Yeah.
But that's good.
My dad was a baseball player. He tore his ACL when he wanted to go pro and tore his ACL, became a fireman. And he used to be a drummer and got bored with drumming. That was his thing. He was a drummer and just one day was like, I can do all the songs and I'm not going to do it anymore. So he started playing guitar. I have one of
Okay.
his lessons, I think, upstairs. But that was his passion was playing guitar. Anything Paul McCartney, anything Beatles, anything like that, he would try to, emulate. And it was just great to listen to.
Okay, okay, definitely. There was something there. There's something on the
Mhm.
genes. They say, "Hey, I need to start on this beautiful industry." All right,
Yep.
Nikki, let's take the first commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about recent past, what you've been doing for the last 2, 3 years. And we're going to have more information about you and more learning more about yourself here in our show. But let's take this short commercial break. We'll be right back with more of Nikki Kalter here in Beeline to Passports on GKI Radio. We are back. We are back from this short commercial break and great music here in our show, Beeline to Passports. And again, people, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be in our third season here in this wonderful GKI radio, and also having the shows streaming in our Silera Media Group YouTube channel. But tonight we have a beautiful guest. She's an actress, and she is telling us great stories about how she started her career. And tonight we have the beautiful Nikki Carter. Nikki, on the previous session, we talked about uh, your family, all these great details, where you're from, original, and where you came from, Indiana to Texas, and now here in the Orlando, Central Florida area. Uh, Tell us what you've been doing the last 2, 3 years.
So since I moved here, I've actually been in the recruiting headhunting business. I've been a recruiter since 2007. So that is where I kind of fell into it and am fairly good at it. I consider myself a matchmaker, so I just like taking people and putting them in their perfect jobs and watching them succeed and grow, and that's pretty much what I've been doing. I now work at a company called Nova Staffing Resources. It's a staffing company where me and the owner Cheryl have a very good relationship, and she pretty much goes out and gets the clients, and I go out and find the candidates. So it's a really good mesh of us, and it's a very small company. There's four of us total. We have Kate and May, and all of us really truly work together to bring people into the right positions for them.
Okay, and beside working, as you mentioned, headhunter and getting
Mhm.
people to start working, when you start this passion for acting?
Oh, yeah, a few months ago. I have two children, and the youngest is now old enough to, she's in school. And I told my husband I really would like to look into acting because that's something I've wanted to do and I've been very passionate about. And he said, okay, just try. Let's see what happens. Go on Facebook, try. Met Bobby Washington and absolutely loved him. And he said, the morning of my audition, he was like, we're going to FaceTime. And I said, okay. And then about 30 minutes before that FaceTime, he said, oh, that position, that role has been filled. Will you read for another role? And I said, I am not prepared, but I will try. And he said, it's okay. We'll just do it as a cold read. I said, don't know what a cold read is at this point, but sure. And did it. And he had him and his beautiful wife and, other people behind him. And it was really fun. It was really fun. He was just like, done, you got it. I didn't it was very exciting for me because it wasn't that it wasn't the effort put behind it. It was that it was just so natural to do it and so fun. And that is the biggest thing is, you can work as a recruiter, you can work as a headhunter, but it's a job. It's not fun. And,
Yeah.
as Beach Shackles was hilarious between the rain and the sun and the heat and the everything else, 19 hours. It's just a fun thing to do. And I'm enjoying
Yes.
it.
Yes, definitely. And did you get any education doing acting? Basically, going to any school to get some knowledge of basically camera and how to pose and how to read the scripts, etc.
Yep. So in Illinois, in Chicago, I did improv. I learned how to do improv, and so I went to 2 different classes on that. So I'm very good with comedy at this point. The thing I'm struggling with is drama, which I'm learning. So I got Michael Cushman, who used to be in LA as a casting agent. Now he's retired and now lives in Orlando. So he's actually teaching me the sides of the drama side and how to read and casting calls and how to set up a resume and a headshot and things like that I didn't even know where to begin. And it's been fantastic to have him kind of lead me in a way that he's like, oh, don't do that. You don't want to do that. Oh, okay, cool. I'll do this instead. So, his instruction has been great. I mean, he has 50 actors and actresses underneath him that have been in LA the last 50 years. I mean, everybody, anything in Growing Pains, the old show he did. So if he says it, I'm going to listen to it right away.
Correct, correct. Definitely, having an acting coach is great. Having an education is uh, greater because when you go to the sets, and I always, I manage several talents, and I explain to them that if you don't know the lingo, you don't know how you need to be in a set, definitely you need to go and get that course and finish with that courses, and that course will help you in many, many, many different areas. Uh,
Agreed.
and they have the different techniques, and the coach always they're going to tell you different areas that you can explore that you never thought about that one. For example, you mentioned that you're good on comedy, uh, but now you're trying drama.
Mhm.
If you don't have a coach that tell you, hey, you're good for this too, you're gonna be in cage only doing comedy,
Yep.
and they're gonna be the point that you're gonna burn yourself doing same thing or genre. Instead, explore any others that you can do, and most definitely that is super important.
I agree 100%. And it's been exciting to learn, one of the lines we learned, it was really cool, like very different for me. It was, why are you here? Why are you here? That's just a normal saying. Why are you here? And he was showing the inflection on each word. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? It was just great to like, okay, that, you have to go back and forth and you're like, okay, where do you want to put the inflection? Where do you want to say that? And it was just one line. So, think about how many lines are in a movie or how many lines are in a show and how you can say things so differently. But why are you here? And it was really interesting to see the different sides of each sentence.
Yes, yes. And the other part is how you need to stand in front of the camera. Then that is super important to understand that you're going to have that big equipment in your face, but you don't supposed to look at the camera. And sometimes that thing is over your shoulder, and you need to act that nothing is over your shoulder. And you learn that during the process of being a trained, and I always say it is a training system that you do during your acting training or acting courses that you take. And great, you did improv. That's super important
Yeah.
because sometimes they throw some part of the line, and what you gonna do with that? Good luck. Good luck
Yeah.
if you don't know how to do the improv and doing other areas. And also understand all the roles of every person that is also behind the camera, because they have many people. Sometimes I thought last year a small group of girls here in Orlando, we were talking about during a summer camp. We were talking about that in particular. Then it's not three people that they're gonna be there on the set. They're probably gonna be minimum 10.
Yep.
I've been in sets. Then when you turn around, they probably are between 50 and 60 people around doing different things. And basically, every single person around there, they have a job to do to create the ambient and create all this set correctly for a great scene or a great movie or a great series. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, it's funny because you have such minimal time in front of the camera. And that's why I think people are used to seeing, oh, they're in front of the camera, they're in front of the camera. And it's funny, you're there 12, 15 hours, and it's like, oh, get 30 minutes in front of the camera, but you might be called up, you might be this, you might need it or whatever. And it's just kind of the fun behind, I think the behind the scenes is now with social media, it's becoming a little bit more apparent. But you watch these older movies and you're like, man, they had to wait for this weather, they had to do that, they had to do this, and it's really cool because that's where you really get, the close
Correct.
relationships and everything. It's just, the people behind there and the people you're talking to.
That's right. That's right. And all these people behind the scene, you need to have a good relation with them because basically they are the one they're gonna help you to look great in front of the camera. And that is something that we're
You
gonna
know that
talk.
better than anybody. I mean, you holding over me in 6 hours of straight sunlight and making sure I didn't die. That would be great.
That's right. That's right. We're going to talk about that in the next segment when we come back from this commercial break. But let's take this short commercial break and we come back with more of that great stories from the sets that we've been working together. Let's take this short commercial break. And when we come back from this short commercial break, we're going to have more information and more stories about Miss Nikki Kalter here on our show. But remember, people, drop a comment or question if you would like to hear them here in our show. Answer in our show. The number is 407-476-9059. Remember to say my name, Joe Batista, followed by your name and your question or comment. And you could also hear it here in Beeline to Passports on GKI Radio. We are back. We are back from this short commercial break and great music here on GKI Radio, and I'm thinking about you people. Every week we bringing great stories. We bringing great guests that have stories that help you to think about if you want to pursue a career in modeling, acting, or any other areas in the entertainment industry or in any other industry. But tonight we have the beautiful Nikki Kalter. Nikki is an actress, and she's been in this actors world no long, but she's been involved in couple projects. And let's talk about this project, Nikki. Tell me how you got involved on that recent projects. How was the process, and how you become one of the victims, and we're gonna say why victim, on one of the movies that you participated.
Yeah, so it's been kind of a whirlwind the last few months. When I decided to do this between me and my husband, I said, if I'm doing this, I'm doing it, you know, feet first and just jump it in. And I joined every single acting thing that you could think of under the sun. I paid for everything because you never know what to join or not to join, and about different Facebook groups. So starting this journey has been really difficult, but also really fun learning experience. Like I said, I found the Seven Roses on through Bobby Washington, and he was very kind and open and willing to work with a newer actress. I did theater work, so I know that that's so different than acting in screen because, theater is so big, and, and acting, it's not, it's acting true. It's different. I've been in a few things since then. I mean, Seven Roses really opened the door because then I could, oh, I actually kind of like this. I can try new things. I can go out there and do things like, beat shackles and your movie coming up, and a few commercials, and two more movies coming in the next month or two that'll be really cool to film. But it's been quite a journey because it's nonstop. Like, I came into this thinking, oh, it might be full time, it might not be, but between working and auditioning, it's hard. It's extremely hard, and the rejection. I think people don't realize how I'm used to sales, so I'm okay with rejection, but I don't think people realize the rejection of it total because you're doing this and it's nonstop of someone saying, "Oh, you're just not what we're looking for. Oh, you're just too blonde. Oh, you're just too cute. You're just too funny. Oh, your voice is too high." And some of the excuses that they send me are like, that's the my voice is too high. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We'll work on that for the future.
Yeah. Yeah, and let me tell you, I mentioned the summer camp on the previous session. Um, that specific was for girls between 10 years old and 18 years old, looking to be in the modeling industry. And modeling and acting goes hand to hand because models start as models and then they want to do the crossover to be in front of the camera on the movies, or be on the TV, and like a weather girl or being a news anchor. I have good friends. They were models, become the weather girl, then a news anchor for many, many, many years, uh, and learning the rejection and how you take that and turn that to a positive. That it was something that was the part on my part on that summer camp. How to overcome that rejections and turn that to a positive thing to help you to grow, to help you to be better. to help you to learn more and prepare better for the next audition. And never, when in sales, they said, you more no's you have, you're close to a yes. Correct? That happened in this world as well. You're gonna have many, many, many no's, but they're gonna have some opportunities that you need to say, I need to take this one because if I don't take this one, how the people gonna see what I'm doing and how good I am in this industry. Plus, prepare yourself. We talk about that as well. Prepare yourself. Take acting classes. Take the modeling classes. Yes, you never know when. First of all, in my previous in season number two, last show on the season number two, I have a good friend. Then I didn't know that he was for 20 years the person that prepared Miss Universe Mexico
Really?
in Televisa San Antonio, Televisa San Angel in Mexico. For 20 years, when his young career started there. And he said they need to learn how to sit, how to step out of a car, how when they sit down on a table, all this you need to learn because you never know when you need to go on a dinner with somebody then going to offer you the contract of your life and you don't know how to deal with that. Hey, that's the only thing that you need to start thinking, okay, I need to prepare myself to be better in all these areas. And besides doing that part, you need to learn other areas on the set, how to deal with the camera, how to deal with be on time. Then be on time is be on time. And Nikki can say then I am very strict with that. And I respect the time because I like the people respect my time.
Joe likes time and continuity. Those are your two biggest things that you will be a stickler about is time and continuity.
That's right. That's right. Because your time is value. But also the time for everybody around the set is value. If you wasting time, you make other people waste time, and I'm very strict with that. If we said one this time we're gonna start, we're supposed to start at this time and do the process, and because they have many factors, then we need to go over. Now, you mentioned Seven Roses. That's when we met
Yep.
on Seven Roses.
Okay, that
My
one we met.
friend,
We became best friends.
yes, yes. Nikki, her part when the movie comes out, people will understand this. But Nikki was on the ground for hours,
6 hours.
basically in very sunny Florida. No, that day didn't we didn't have any kind of cloud. The only way to put some shade on her was using or umbrellas or using a shade to try to cover her because she basically burned herself. Yes, she burned herself. She's still having the mark of that.
You
Uh,
have to see them on my stomach and my fishnet sunburn on my legs. That was
yes, and that's been what 2 months
two
already.
months. Yeah, 2 months. You're right.
2 months, and that sign is still on her. Wow. And then we started working in another movie, and in that other movie, she is part of the first horror comedy movie for her, and was fun, but was at the beach. People, this is hard. This is not that you're gonna be on AC all day. You're gonna be working on the sun Sometimes some movies they're overnight. For Seven Roses, we did one scene that we started 7 p.m. Filming, and we finished almost 1:30 a.m.
Yep.
And that was several days that happened, and that happened. You need to be ready to be
Well, you
there for
have to
the.
add that you had to stay out that area because you're from, from my neck of the woods, and it's a 2 hour drive. So, I mean, even on beach shackles, being there, we had to be there at 8 a.m. It's a 2 hour drive for me, and we ended at 7, 8 o'clock. So I put me back here at 10 o'clock at night. So you had to stay in a hotel because it was just, you had to be there the next morning. I was luckily enough, didn't have to be there the next morning, but you did.
Yes, yes. In my case, I stay in the area because there was 2 days, be there 8 in the morning. And the first day I was doing basically part of the crew. And the second day, I was one of the actors. And that basically I still having sand on my shoes
Oh my God.
because people will see on the movie why I say that because I ate sand that day. We have fight scenes, and we repeat that over and over and over. And was fun, but at the same time was hard. And the rain, that was the other part. There was
Oh my
rain
God.
both days at certain time, and it was very very hard because hey, it's outside. We were basically surviving under tents, and we continue filming under the tents. Uh,
Don't forget, I had a film, so it's like blister and keeps. I got sunburn in the same day that I got wind and rain. I had to film with Rita, and we're trying to act like we hate each other. She's winking at me like I'm just gonna say mean words, but it's not real. And so I had to keep a straight face while the rain's pouring down. And I'm like, this is acting. This is it. This is what we
this
have.
is it. This is it. This is part of the business, most definitely. This is part of the business. All right, Nikki, let's take this last short commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to continue talking about future plans and future projects. Then you looking to be involved. And also, we want to listen your social media and all details, how we can find Nikki and follow Nikki on the social media. But let's take this a short commercial break. And thank you, people, for being with us in another season of Beeline to Passports. And thank you for being with us here, learning about Nikki Kalter, a story. And we'll be right back with more of Beeline to Passport on GKI Radio. Welcome back from this short commercial break here in Beeline to Passport GKI Radio. My name is Joe Batista. I'm your host, and tonight we have the beautiful Nikki Kalter. And Nikki, she is an actress, and she started in this business no long ago, but she have great stories to tell you about what you can find in this beautiful industry. And Nikki, beside the Seven Roses and Beach Shackles, you mentioned that you have some other projects beside the one that we're gonna be working in the near future with other production companies. Tell us what else you looking to do in this industry.
Um, I honestly, I don't know. It's so open right now. I mean, I have a few things in the mix, but at the same time I say that, I get nervous because I don't have that many things in the mix. So I'm hoping to build my resume enough to be able to be like, oh yeah, I can do that, and someone say, oh yeah, we've seen Nikki in this. It's just so new that it's hard because nothing's been released yet. So I can't wait just to show off what I can do or can't do or grow or anything like that. I have the biggest thing that I'm moving towards. I have a few things in August. The biggest is I'm playing Loretta in Women Want Everything, and that's from Rod Grant, the director. So I'm trying to get as many things I can before that. So by the time I do that, I'm prepared. Because I know it's going to be difficult and hard and huge cast and a big movie and not an independent film. So it's going to be it's going to be hard. So I'm trying to get as many things I can under my belt because I want to grow and learn and have people like you around me that can be like, don't do it this way, change this, change that, do this, and that way I can learn and grow.
Correct, correct. And that's the part that I said in the previous session. Then it's good to learn and become friends of the people around that set. Because, for example, you working in movie set and makeup artist, uh, that makeup artist, she will help you to look great. But if she know you, she's gonna do a lot better, and that's
Mhm.
part of the business. Same thing when you're doing a scene with a partner. If you start getting, that person, and you start a conversation, and they're gonna flow better. It's not when, and we're seeing the opposite. They're rivals and they hate each other, and we can see it. We
Yep.
can see it on that screen. We can see these people don't want to be around each other. These people, they
Chemistry.
want to finish
Chemistry is
this project. Bye. Yes,
yep.
the chemistry shows everywhere. um Beside that part, being involved on different communities. For example, I always said, I'm very grateful. Then I learned what is the Orlando Independent Filmmakers, and I've been participating with them in different events. And now we have a movie that's gonna be on the challenge that they do every 3 months. That's great. But I met different directors. I met different producers, um, screenwriters. Then these people, they looking to do something, and if you have that connections, they're gonna think about you all the time. Hey, I remember you told me you have this, or this person. How we can be in contact with these people, and they will help your acting or your resume grow. Beside that, I always said we need to look on different platforms. Then helps a lot. They have the actors access, and they have the casting network, and many others. And be open to travel,
Yep.
because that is something that I have a concern with the people that want to work with us, we at the Silera Media Group, um, because they don't want to travel. Hey, they have good and great opportunities. Miami, they have
Yep.
good and great opportunities. Atlanta, they
Yep.
have great opportunities in Tampa. But you looking to only go to 20 minutes from your home, uh, that never going to happen, because there
Nope.
the opportunities. You need to go and fight for that opportunities. And in the future, you're gonna see that that opportunity gonna open a second opportunity, and then so forth, so on. And that's my testimony because I've been participating in different projects in the Miami area. And from in one project, I met this guy. Then 2 months later, we were in another set working together. And the guy was part of the crew. In this other, he was the main actor.
Yep.
And from there, we can have an opportunity to work for big names. Right now, they have a TV series that started this last July 21st um, for Issa, and I have a small part there. But from that small part, I had received another opportunity to have another part in another big company, and I
Yeah.
did that big company. I always said I take that as advantage because I see what the big companies, Warner Brothers, and all these they do. Then we can bring that to the small production, and if they are successful, we want to become successful, we need to emulate what they do in the large organization when they have big budgets, and sometimes we have no budget for to do a movie. But that is the right way. I always said, and I believe that is the right way to see it. Take that opportunities, take it to your advantage, take notes, become friends of many people that you can, and that people that will help you to get other opportunities.
Yep.
Most definitely, most definitely. And
That's the
Nikki,
biggest.
what, tell us your social media.
I'm on Instagram. It's Nikki Kalter at Nikki Kalter. I decided to make my Instagram kind of like a backstage for people. So it's behind the scenes shots. It's me, but it's also when I'm filming, where I'm filming, what's going on. I just recently was in a music video, so I'm really excited to put that on there. That when that comes out, I will be excited, like ecstatic, because as you like you were saying, as you're meeting new people, it's almost like this cool branching out. You meet one person and that person introduces you to another, to introduces you to another, and it's just this big thing, and it's just one big family. It really is. Yeah. At least here, again, I'm naive. I don't know a lot. Here, it's oh, we have something. Let's do this. Oh, I want you for this. I see you for that, and it's great because you not only like auditioning, put yourself out there, which is good, but it's also, I get nervous when I have really bad stage fright. That's why I wasn't in theater very long. I did the backstage. I had very bad stage fright. But you and people that know me are like, she's so funny. Like, oh, she's, great. She can do that. But that's because it's a small group. And so these people know you and they're like, oh, just give her a couple minutes. She'll lighten up and she'll be fun and whatever. And about an hour later, I'm talking to everybody. When I first get there, I'm very quiet. I'm probably the quietest person on the set. I'm observing. I'm like, I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to talk too little. I just am observing everything. And from there, it turns into a family. I mean, Beach Tackles was probably the best. The best. I mean, I've done a few things since then and before then, and it was the most family oriented. I mean, everybody cared about what everybody else was doing and making them better. I mean, it was great. It was just a nice, camaraderie that everybody was like, "Oh, let me fix that. Let me do this. Let me Nikki, you stand here. You want to make sure, I'm tiny. I'm 5'2". So people were like, make sure Nikki's on, you see Nikki and you have these tall guys,
Correct.
women.
Correct.
It was nice to have everybody, looking out for each other.
Yes, and also your best friend now, Bananas Denzel, say hi. He just sent me a text and he said hi to you. If the people don't know Banana Denzel, just find Banana Denzel on all the social media. You're gonna know why he is the new star in the industry. He's
Realize he
coming.
has nice shoes. So when he's done with those shoes, I will take those Nikes off of him and wear them.
Yeah, I heard, and he's hiding bodyguards now, because people they try to get his shoes, his necklace. Is that necklace is he didn't have a $250,000 necklace that day, but he have a $250,000 necklace that he carried. He now needs some bouncers, some bodyguards around him because people try to jump on him, and that's why he's looking to be the next star on the next movie that's coming up. Nikki, has been a pleasure having you in our show. Again, tell us your social media and where the people can follow you.
It's just at Nikki Kalter. Come find me. I mean, I'm there. So
Perfect, perfect. Nikki, again, thank you so much for taking this opportunity to have this conversation and that people learn more about you, where you're from, and you're starting this career. We have followers from this show from around the world, from Europe, from South America, North America, Caribbean, and the United States. Uh, we thank you for giving us that information, how you started, and all the great details about your new career. And people, thank you again for being with us in another Beeline to Passports. And remember, be a leader, rock the world, inspires others with your emotions in control. Good night.